What's going on, guys? I'm Sceptile MC, and today I'll bring you a competitive overview video on Mega Sceptile. Now, I know I've been kind of spamming you guys recently with the whole Sceptile reaction videos, the mystery of its tail disappearing when it used Leaf Storm. I know that. I'm sorry if you find that annoying, but I, for one, find it justified because Sceptile is my first Pokemon in general. It's my favorite Pokemon in general, and it's my name. So if you don't like me uploading all the Sceptile news, I'm sorry. It's going to continue whenever there is an update on it. And if you don't like it, well, then you can click that unsub button right now, because Sceptile will not leave my channel anytime fucking soon. But anyways, let's get into the competitive overview. Let's now start off with what it gains when it Mega Evolves. So it gains the typing of Dragon when it Mega Evolves. Now, Grass and Dragon has actually never happened before. This will be the first ever Pokemon to be a Grass and Dragon type. And while offensively having the Dragon typing, there's a reason why the Dragon type is the most dangerous, in my opinion, offensive typing, because the only thing that can really take the hit is a Steel type, and usually you have Earthquake or something like that to take on Steel types. And the only other thing other than that now is the Fairy type, which is more of a counter than Steel. However, people have now been using things like Iron Head and the Poison Jab to get around that. But overall, Dragon type is going to be a huge help offensively. Defensively, however, it's not really too good in the sense of, while yes, he does actually lose the fire weakness that he had, he is now weak to Fairy. He is now ×4 weak to Ice. He is now weak to Dragon. And on top of that, he still keeps his weaknesses to Bug, Flying, and Poison. So he is weak to, what is it? A third of the possible types in the game. However, Sceptile he never was a tank. He was never meant to take hits. So you could see this as not really a bad thing. The only thing I could see being a problem is something like a Talonflame or a Mamoswine using a Brave Bird, because that's going to easily OHKO a Sceptile, and Ice Shard is going to easily OHKO because it's ×4 weak now. So that's it on the weaknesses side. While yes, it sucks that he does gain a weakness to Fairy and Dragon, as well as a ×4 weakness to Ice, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world for it. Now, what it resists, it doesn't change at all. It resists the Grass, Electric, Water, and the Ground still. However, he gains a ×4 resistance to Grass and Water, which is great for him because he can take Hydro Pumps, Scalds, he can take Leaf Storms or Giga Drains, all that stuff. But what's interesting is while Electric would usually be a ×4 resistance, it's actually an immunity for the reason that he has the ability Lightning Rod. Now, if you don't know what that is, Lightning Rod is an ability that once an Electric type move is used, it automatically goes to Sceptile, whether it's a triple battle or a double battle. And Sceptile basically won't take any damage from that, and his special attack will increase. Now, in the current Gen 6 OU in the metagame, that's actually really good because there's a common Pokemon, which is the Rotom Wash. And if you look at his typing, Water and Electric, Mega Sceptile actually is a perfect counter to that. However, it still will be an issue because people could run HP Ice on it, as well as you can burn it still. So while it is a counter, technically, it still won't be used in that way. In my opinion, the only way you will see Lightning Rod being used is against like a Volt Turn team, where you see the person using the Volt Switch a lot, and you have to basically switch it in to stop like all the my words right here. When you face a Volt Turn team, the point of them is to gain all the momentum and to basically weaken your team until the point where a sweeper can eventually take you out. What Mega Sceptile can do is it can take that Volt Switch, it can stop the momentum basically, and increase its power at the same time. And what I assume is we don't know its we don't even really know the stat boost yet. However, it won't get an increase in HP because no Mega has had an increase in HP yet. We can assume that's only the attack, special attack, and speed. Maybe a tiny bit in bulk, but I highly doubt that. So you'll have a fast, increased special attack Sceptile, and that is very good in my opinion. However, it's rare that you see when you have a lightning rod user that the person actually goes for an electric type attack, so I feel like it's overhyped as well in that sense, because the only real thing I see it being used in is VGC, which is you see again a lot of Rotom Washes and stuff like that using T-Bolt and using T-Wave and stuff like that, so it'll be used to kind of counter out that. In Gen 6 OU, I don't really see you guys getting a really getting a lightning rod boost anytime, unless you predict it right, which at times you will. Other than that, I'm gonna go on to possible movesets. Now, we don't have any idea of the stats, so these movesets could be completely not viable. They could be completely crap, because for all we know, he could be getting a huge increase in HP defense and special defense, and lose attack and special attack and speed, so these movesets could be shit, basically. But from what we assume and what we know already, these three are the best that I could come up with. It's basically your standard Sceptile set. The first one I have is the Swords Dance set, which actually is kind of interesting. While yes, you don't really get anything off of the Lightning Rod, you are immune to T-Wave, so you can't get paralyzed and you can't get really slowed down. Use the Swords Dance. You have two powerful stabs in the form of Dragon Claw and the Leaf Blade, or I do believe you can get Outrage in Gen 5 or Gen 4 on Sceptile, so you can use that as well. And that would be really powerful after a Swords Dance to take an Outrage off a Sceptile, and I'm looking forward to trying out a set like that. However, you then have to think about the Steel types in the tier, and that's when his last move comes in. In my honest opinion, you have two choices. You can run the Drain Punch or the Earthquake. Judging from experience, I would honestly run Drain Punch, just because of the health you get back, as well as it hits the Ferrothorn for more powerful damage. If you want to be unique, you could run Quick Attack over that, and you can use it to take on Talonflames that'll be coming in that'll be coming in on you, as well as the Pincers as well, because those two with priority will easily OHKO you. After a +2 Swords Dance, I don't know how much Quick Attack is going to do, because we don't know if the attack stat is going to increase, but it should do enough to where the Talonflame will go down if you have up like rocks or something like that. So if you're afraid of that, you can run the Quick Attack. If you're afraid of Steel types, you can run the Drain Punch or Earthquake. The next set is the standard Substitute set, which is where you run max speed and special attack, and then you run the Substitute and the Leech Seed, and then in this case, I would say you run the Giga Drain and the Dragon Pulse for stab, or HP Fire. It's just a standard set. Without an increase in HP, you will get a lot of HP back on bulkier things like Heat Train or something like that. You can use a Leech Seed and you Substitute. Because you don't have HP investment, you'll gain like 20% back. Although hindered compared to the other Sceptile set, Subseed set, just because of the lack of leftovers. But that's basically that set. I feel like that set won't be used as much or at all even. I just decided to put that in there because it's one of the more common Sceptile sets today. The last one, and the one I think will be the most popular because of the Lightning Rod, is the 4 special attacking set, which is just, in my opinion, is going to be either Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast, and then something else that it gets. Or those are its only 4 moves, who knows. One thing I'm hoping it gets is Draco Meteor. I highly doubt it's going to be like that because Ampharos didn't get Draco Meteor. But if it does get Draco, then you will see Mega Sceptile dropping Dracos. And the only thing I could think to take a Draco would be something that resists it. However, it does get the Focus Blast as well, so you have to watch out for that. And while it doesn't have a diverse move pool, and then in the sense of it's kind of like using a Mega Man Neck Trick. You know what it runs. You know it has T-Bolt and Volt Switch, and the Flamethrower Overheat, and the HP Ice or HP Grass. You know it's going to have those moves, and you can counter that respectively. But being able to actually counter that is usually challenging because of the coverage it has. The same thing goes with Sceptile here. Nothing wants to take a Draco or Leaf Storm. If it does get Draco, that's great. If not, Dragon Pulse and Giga Drain, or Leaf Storm, and then the Focus Blast to take on things like the Pharaoh and stuff like that. The biggest check I see to this thing, in my honest opinion, is going to be things like Togekiss. Togekiss will be a hard check to this unless you have Rock Slide on it, which I doubt you would honestly run Rock Slide on it. But that's the one thing I could see actually being a full-on counter to it, as well as Mega Venusaur if it's specially defensive or physically defensive respectively, to your set. Kind of a 50-50 toss-up there. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it for Mega Sceptile in the competitive overview. So if you guys enjoyed and want me to continue posting things about the Mega Sceptile as they are released to the public, or if I come up with any other random ideas about Mega Sceptile, I'll just post them to YouTube, and you guys we can bounce ideas off each other in the comment section below. So feel free to expand on anything I've said here. If I've missed anything, you can drop it down below. Once the stats get released, and by that I mean once he gets his increase in stats and they're out in public, I will post about them. We can change the sets around, make better move sets. We can start running calcs and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. And anyways guys, I'm Sceptile MC, and deuces.